A very good evening and a warm welcome yet again to Uctv News. I am Nora Sende to bring you the bulletin this evening. It is the 3rd, it is a Tuesday of November 2024. Thank you for sticking to Uctv News. We are starting off our newscast this evening with the Minister for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Matia Kasaija, has pledged to apprehend and prosecute those involved in the theft of 60 billion shillings from the Bank of Uganda accounts. Now, Kasaija revealed that investigations are ongoing and the culprits will face legal action or be compelled to repay the stolen funds. Now, his remarks come after Bank of Uganda confirmed massive loss caused by hackers, sparking nationwide concern.
In life, there are ups and downs. You know that? But we continue living. Human beings make mistakes for sure, including myself. But once you know your mistake, as an honest person, you change for the better. So, and even our society, there are people who want to have things for free. They are there. What do thieves? The thieves who are stealing money from government, including even those who are in the government. Didn't you hear me when I was telling the president in Colorado? You heard me? Did you hear me? Yes. There are bad elements in society, and that one, it is difficult to wipe out. The best we can do, we can investigate them, and if we find that they have erred, then you arrest them and take them to court. The court judges, if you have got the good evidence, and they sleep in the Luzira, or they are forced to pay back the money. So those gaps are there. That one I must very assure you. But we are not sleeping, as I've said. We are also watching, and the laws are there. You do a wrong, the law takes the course. But the country must move. We can't be stopped by a few people, selfish people.
The National Unity Platform has criticized the government for issuing operational licenses to buildings that lack access facilities for persons with disabilities. Now, Party President Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu signaled out Kampala City Authority for permitting the construction of inaccessible buildings, denying people with disabilities the opportunity to access offices and essential services. Now, speaking during NUP's celebration of the International Day of People with Disabilities, Kyagulanyi emphasized the need for equal rights and inclusivity, aligning with this year's theme, unlocking potential, inclusive leadership for barrier-free future.
Mr. Selector, Rastamura the bodyman target Tangara Commission. Where? Bana ekirikitia. Bana mwebale kwagala people power. Bana mwebale kuguma. Bana mwebale kutoba. Foot soldier, are you there? Bana bakora omulimo. Okay, obutamala budde. Thank you, my president.
Today is a special day. Today I want to salute the Ugandans, the so-called people with disabilities. I don't think you are with disabilities. I think you are people abled differently. We salute you. It's interesting to know that we have up to 12.4% of our population living with challenges. By now, we are supposed to be living better and relating better, well knowing that these are conditions that you don't give a timeline. I'm proud myself to have known that way before. As you know, even when I was still ghetto president, you remember that my vice president was a person abled differently. We believed that, we still believe that. We know that you deserve better, which you don't get. The Baganda say, obulema tebujjadda. Here where we are, we have friends who 2 years ago were full-bodied, so to say. But today, many of them have lost their limbs, some have lost their eyes, some are now mentally challenged. I mean, Eddie Mutwe cannot claim to have all his fingers together. So, all of us here are candidates of disability, especially when we are facing this brutal regime. So it's important that we continue educating even those ones that have not appreciated it, that these fellow citizens have to be given a feeling of equality and equity as they live in this our country. Well, for now, we are just saying that. But ladies and gentlemen, allow me today, on a day celebrating people with disabilities, the people I would like to say they're able differently, that all is not lost. We have a plan in a new Uganda, a plan where you will be equally represented, equally treated, where you will feel equal, and not just equality, but equity. I want to remind you that among our values, inclusiveness is top on the agenda. So that we intend to, as a policy, as an NUP policy, as a government policy, because we will be the government, we'll make sure we enforce it. We'll have it in schools, we'll have it in hospitals. You'll not hear somebody that is physically or mentally challenged being discriminated in a public facility, hospital also. It is not a mistake that you find ramps here or in Kamocha or everywhere. We are not even doing enough. Under our leadership, no building should get a license when it has not considered ramps or making life comfortable for people that are physically challenged. And this is not, we are not inventing it. This is what happens in well-governed countries, in developed countries. You can even be sued. How can a plan be confirmed by KCCA or any other relevant authority that does not cater for people living with disabilities? How can a building get a plan? How can a club or a bar or a business get a license? As a matter of fact, well-developed countries that respect their citizens in equal measure, have policies where even while giving jobs, you have to employ these people to make sure you are deliberate about including them in society. That must be done. That is the only way we are going to cater for these, our brothers, our sisters, because every family has somebody. Could be your child, could be your parent, could be your brother. And if you don't have that person, you will soon get that person. Because this is humanity, this is who we are. So it's important that we think ahead of the times.
Now, as Uganda marked the International Day for Persons with Disabilities, Maximia Nachibuka, the National Secretary for People with Disabilities in the Democratic Party, criticized the government for inadequate health care and social support for persons with disabilities. Now, she highlighted the lack of accessible facilities at health services or health centers, which continues to hinder people with disabilities from seeking medical care.
I read Honorable Asamo's press release that she issued last week, page by page, line by line. I failed to see, she was also highlighting the challenges that are facing persons with disabilities, but I failed to see fundamental solutions or recommendations as to what she's going to advocate for us in Parliament to address these gaps. We are tired of the lamentations. We are tired of the lamentations of persons who are representing us. And when we choose to stand, there is a lot of politics. We know she's able, but she cannot represent us because she's not for another. Because she doesn't have money. Poor data collection and policy planning. I have told you, when you don't have data information about a specific group of persons, how will you plan for them? Even the schools have planning committees. Now, what is the National Planning Authority there for if they cannot devise means of finding information about us so they can plan for us? The absence of accurate and comprehensive data on the prevalence of disability continue to hinder effective planning and service delivery. We talked about the recent results of the Uganda Bureau of Statistics when we had our press conference here, which was grossly underrepresented and underreported. It underreported disability prevalence, which we reject as inaccurate. Before that census, the number of persons with disabilities in Uganda was estimated at 6-point-something million people. The numbers of this year put us at 3 points, meaning almost a half was reduced. The previous census was done in 2014, before I got disabled. The traffic report tells us new people have gotten into disability because we also would see these days accidents are happening to platform. That is the office for persons with disabilities, therefore anyway. Two, we are calling upon government to enhance data collection. Let this not be a one-off. We are also saying this again and again. Registration of persons with disability should be a continuous process because people get disabled every day. For someone who saw me in 2015, I was walking. From 2016, I'm in wheelchair bound. Every day there is a new person who gets disabled due to different reasons. So our registration and database cannot be a one-off. But what we are saying is government should introduce routine, systemic disability data collection and analysis. And we are here to support with the media on our side, with you, my friends here, with the civil society, with the UNIF, with all those other organizations. We are here to support government to make sure that this is done.
Now, the death toll of the catastrophic landslide that's in Bulambuli district has climbed to 28 people, with efforts to rescue survivors and recover missing victims are still ongoing. Speaking at the 2024 Manifesto Week in Kampala, the Prime Minister, Honorable Robin Anabanja, called on leaders in high-risk areas to mobilize the residents to relocate to Bunamatie, emphasizing the need to prevent further loss of life from similar disasters.
We had so far recovered 20 bodies. And I want to thank the President because he facilitated us to give them a decent send-off. As of yesterday, we had other eight bodies. We have 23 people sick in the hospital, those who survived. We had challenges. You know that part of the country receives a lot of rain. It's very difficult. The terrain is so difficult to even construct roads there. And so because of the terrain, we were having it difficult to take our excavators to help in the exercise of exhuming the dead bodies, because I don't think we still have anybody alive there. And we are told 3 villages were covered by mudslide. So we beefed up with the army officers who are on ground digging to make sure that we at least try to get all the bodies out and give them a decent burial. So as of yesterday, the total number of dead bodies recovered were 28. I want to condole with the bereaved families, the people of Bulambuli, and the country.
So the community that was very unfortunate, those in Bulambuli, the Prime Minister will inform you, we have never compensated them. It's about resources. Don't be emotional. It's like we are holding resources which we have to go and attend to that and leave others. It is the way you manage your home. You want to have food in the home, you must pay for power, you must pay for water.
Well, and that's all that we had for you this evening. It has been nice having you. We'll see you next time on Uctv News. Well, until then, I am Nora Sende. Do have yourself a lovely evening and a good night.